Hi everybody, Adrian here with Critical Impact Group. Now last week I posted a video, a 30-day kind of first look at the Vortex Defender red dot pistol optic. Overall, I thought it was a pretty decent optic. At first look, it's pretty durable. There's definitely a few things I don't like about it, but overall I figured that it would be a competitive dot in this kind of micro dot, pistol market that it's targeting. That said, I also mentioned that I had a battery die after 3 weeks, and I've been trying to figure out if that was just a bad battery or if there was something else going on. And one of the things I noticed several times throughout that first month carrying this gun in this Tenicor AIWB holster is that at the end of the day, I would take the gun and the holster off and go to set it in my safe, and I would notice that the dot was turned up super bright, really, really bright, the brightest setting. And I was like, there's no way that I had that setting on the optic when I holstered it and I checked it, because every single morning or every single time I grab my gun and holster it up and head out the door, I check. I make sure it's loaded, I make sure I got a round in the chamber, and I make sure my dot is set in an appropriate brightness, right? That's a smart thing to do. So I also noticed then that I would go to turn it down and the dot wouldn't adjust. So it was actually locked in to that brightness setting. And I was trying to think, is there something wrong with my dot? Is there some type of setting that I don't understand here? And finally, I figured it out, what was happening here. So as I said, I'm carrying this Glock 43X in this Tenicor AIWB holster, which is an excellent holster. Tenicor, probably my favorite holster brand out there. But the thing with the Defender dot is that it has the buttons that are slightly raised. And if you notice here too, this Tenicor holster has a full size sweat guard. So when that goes over the top there, and then this gun sits in between your body and your belt, and you start moving around, getting into different positions, what can happen throughout the day? If you listen. What was happening, I'm pretty sure, is that as I was moving around and this gun was flexing and moving on my body, yeah, it doesn't take a lot for the sweat shield to activate that button. And after a few times, you can see, there we go, that dot gets cranked up really bright. And if you, say, squat down or you get into a position where you have that pressure there for more than 3 seconds, see how that dot blinks? That just locked it into that setting that was in. So I think what's happening is I put the gun on, I start moving around throughout the day, it starts clicking the brightness up, and then say I bend down or I get into some position where there's a little bit more pressure on the gun, and for 3 seconds it locks it in. And then, as you can see now, even though I'm pressing the down button, it's not adjusting the optic. So you have to press and hold the up button again for 3 seconds. That unlocks the dot, and now you can adjust the brightness down. So something to be aware of. What am I going to have to do? Well, if I want to continue to carry this dot, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to trim down the sweat shield on my Tenicor holster, which isn't a big deal, but I'd really rather not do it. I do have a different holster with my Smith & Wesson shield, and that sweat guard is cut just a little bit lower. It's about halfway up the button, and it doesn't seem to do it there. So anyways, just something else I noticed. I told you guys I would give you guys some updates as I spend more time with this Defender dot. I've only had it for about a month now, so not enough time to fully judge it yet. Like I said, some things I like, some things I don't, but just wanted to share that because I know some of you were wondering about the battery life issues.